Hello and welcome to the Father and Son Formula One podcast. You've got me, Graham Miller, and my son, Toby.
Hello.
And today we're talking about the Canada Grand Prix. I haven't actually got it up here. What's it properly called, Toby?
Just the Formula One Lenovo Grand Prix de Canada 2026.
Sponsored by a laptop, kind of like the cars.
Also, it's Grand Prix de Canada because it's French, because Canada's sort of half French.
Oh, was that Grand Prix then?
Well, yeah, Grand Prix is French anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Should really be the British Great Prize.
Or Grand Prix.
That's just a bit sort of like
Okay.
Americans saying French, isn't it?
Yeah.
Anyway.
I think we better get on with this because I was thinking about this. Sometimes you kind of watch a race weekend and you're a bit like, somebody won by 40 seconds and there was a big train behind them.
Yeah, somebody was just the best driver and that was it.
Or the fastest cars got 1-2 in qualifying and 1-2 in the race. And
yeah.
This was not like that.
It was a very busy weekend.
Yeah, I mean, for a start, it was a sprint to Canada, which I don't think...
Not happened before, they were saying.
No.
Did anything happen in practice?
I'm looking at the report. I can't remember.
I don't think I watched it live. I think I was at work.
I think I lay in bed and watched it 'cause it was like 9 or 10 at night.
Oh no, the practice was 5:30.
Oh, I think I missed that then and I watched the quali in bed.
Probably watched it because that was 9:30.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have been in bed at 5:30, but that is a little sedentary.
Yeah, no, I'm not that lazy. I mean, pre-practice...
Colapinto broke down.
Yeah, I think there were 3 red flags, it said on the report.
But it was the thing about practice on a sprint weekend is that it's always super busy.
Well, yeah, it's the only chance.
They kind of want, because if you remember, I think they wanted the sprints in the first place because nobody was turning up on Friday to the track.
Yeah.
People were just buying like Saturday or Sunday tickets, watch the quali and the race, and that was it. And also with, like, what was it, 3-4 hours of practice? 3.5 hours of practice. People were sort of like, they weren't rushing to get their run plans in, so there would be like 20-30 minutes at a time when literally nothing happened.
Yeah, and also we had, and this will become relevant later on in the podcast, we had that weird Red Bull thing where they'd turn up to Friday practice, put in 2 hours, and be meh. And then they go away, and over Friday night into Saturday morning, whatever time zone they were in, people back at their base would run like probably 12, 14 hours of sim runs.
Yeah,
based
overnight.
on the data they gathered from the track that year with that car.
Yeah.
And then they would come out on like Saturday practice and Saturday qualifying and be monstering it.
But that they don't quite have that chance with a sprint weekend because there's just less practice.
And also what you see is that even if, like, I think we actually saw it this time, I think in the actual sprint itself, somebody went out and then came back in 2 or 3 laps down because it's a chance to run on the track.
Yeah.
You know, it's a chance for drivers to, you know, get to learn the track a bit more, see how the actual conditions are with this weather today and this year's car.
And also in dirty air is probably quite good data gathering. Because they might not get that as much in a real practice session.
So yeah, and again, as we expected, I think this was the weekend Mercedes bought their upgrade package, and I think they won 2 the sprint, didn't they? Yes.
They won 2 practice, locked out the front row.
The practice.
They also locked out the front row on the sprint qualifying, and oh no, they didn't want to the sprint, but we'll get to that.
Yeah, I'm just going to go back. Yeah, because sprint qualifying, and I mean, really, we went into this weekend with Russell lagging 20 points behind Antonelli.
Mm.
And, I mean, I think Russell must be feeling, you know, he did his time at Williams, he learnt the ropes. He got called up to the big team at Mercedes. He sat beside Hamilton, and to be honest, I mean, I know we're Hamilton fanboys over here, but he was pretty much the equal of Hamilton.
He gave him a run for his money.
I mean, it's hard to tell because Hamilton was the experienced one, so he was given the dodgy testing cars some weekends.
And also, Hamilton wanted Bottas and was coming off the back of Abu Dhabi 2021, he probably wasn't in a great headspace at that time.
No, and he's openly said he hated that era of ground effect cars as well.
And despite that, he still actually matched Russell and won a few races.
Yeah, and then Hamilton goes to Ferrari last year, and Russell must be thinking, right, there's an 18-year-old next to me.
Here we go.
I'm bedded in with the team, let's win some titles.
And, not to mention, the car this year is now actually title-winning fast.
Yeah.
But Russell is kind of actually being monstered a bit by Antonelli now.
He is, but...
So far, let's say.
So far, and also I think Russell, especially like last weekend, he had a really unlucky pit stop where he pitted and then the safety car came out, which basically gifted Antonelli a 15-second lead.
Yeah.
And also, like we said, last year, Piastri, again, another young, relatively, not rookie, but not an experienced driver.
Well, it's a similar situation to Russell and Antonelli, because Norris had been waiting for years at McLaren for them to get good.
Yeah.
And then suddenly Piastri came along and kind of beat him in that first, what was it, you said the first third of the season?
Yeah, because 8 races makes up an official Formula 1 season. That's what the minimum you need.
So the first 8 races, Piastri kind of monstered him.
Yeah, so I haven't done the maths for before this race, but the thing to remember is after this weekend, we've got 17 races and 3 sprints. So by my calculation, there's another 449 points to be won.
My spreadsheet agrees. I actually have it set up so that it looks at the rows for the sprint section and the main section. It counts all the empty spaces and then multiplies it by 25 and then by 8 and adds them together.
Oh, right.
So as I fill it in, that number goes down, points remaining. It's quite satisfying, but that's just because I'm a massive nerd.
And actually, even that critical gap between first and second, assuming that McLaren are going to, monster everything.
Mercedes,
sorry.
Yeah.
That 8-point gap between first and second, there's still 136 points in there.
Yeah. It's
139 if you count the 3 points for winning a sprint over your teammate coming second. So that 20 points isn't actually...
It's not insurmountable, even after this race.
So yeah, Russell actually beat Antonelli in the sprint and got sprint pole. It was surprising. Well, we said this last weekend. The McLarens are back, basically.
Yeah.
They qualified 3rd and 4th.
Better than the Ferraris.
But Lewis was up in 5th, and again, barely 3/10 between the top. Yeah.
Top 5.
And actually, Hamilton, all weekend, Hamilton was happier in the car than Charles Leclerc.
I mean, this weekend is probably the best Hamilton's looked in the Ferrari so far.
Yeah.
I think even he would say that.
Oh, God, he said he was just so happy.
And Martin Brundle, on the commentary, kept saying that he looked so kind of alive in the car.
Yeah. Now, I take it you've heard this, what's really interesting is he was asked about it and he said he hasn't used their simulator.
Yeah.
I mean, he is much more political and diplomatic than I am. Because obviously you don't get to criticise Ferrari openly.
No.
But he said he wants to work with the guys back at base to develop the simulator.
Yes.
He also said something really interesting. He said the test drivers who run the simulator, never get to drive that car on the track.
That is a bit unusual when you think about it.
Well, it's inevitable, really, because the only people who drive it on track are Leclerc and Hamilton, in this case.
Yeah.
And they only drive it on track from Friday till Sunday.
And
most of the sim work takes place beforehand, so there's no way you could, like we said earlier about, it's how this year's tyre compounds are, how this year's aero package and car is. Somewhere like Canada is a street circuit, so you've got to see how it's feeling, what the track temperature is.
Yeah.
So there's no real way. And I mean, we've heard this before. It's about how well the simulator does correlate to the actual real world data.
Yeah.
But I think Hamilton was much happier just going out there and getting a feel for it and not...
Well, even if even if the simulator's correct, he probably wasn't thinking about, is this what the simulator would say? Because I feel like you could go into it with like a preconceived notion of how it should feel.
Oh no, he does. That's the problem. It's not his preconceived notion, but they set the cars up based on simulator runs.
Yeah.
So in the week before Canada, he'd be racing the track in a simulator, and he would say, "Oh, try half a turn on front wing," and he'd be like, "Oh no, that's worse."
Yeah. And then eventually he gets to the track with it set up from the sim, and if it's rubbish, then it's kind of like, well, what's gone wrong?
Yeah, and then you're kind of reinventing it almost.
But if he just goes in with a blank slate,
yeah,
practice 10 laps in, he's like, right, this is what we need to do.
Yeah,
it's certainly going to be what he's more used to.
Oh yeah, and I mean, as we said before, there is this whole kind of class of, I'm looking at the sprint quali results, Russell, Norris, Piastri and Antonelli to an extent, although they're a bit younger, Leclerc, Verstappen, Sainz, Ocon, they're all like late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
They've all grown up with simulators, and
yeah.
And you've got the kind of old hands like Hamilton, Hulkenberg and Alonso, really.
Perez, maybe.
Bottas, maybe, who...
That's pretty much it, actually, for older drivers.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, Hamilton, then Leclerc in 5th and 6th in the sprint quali. Another person who's looked much happier this weekend is Verstappen, who qualified 7th.
Yeah?
Again, he started beating Hadjar.
But only by a 10th, which is honestly pretty okay for Hadjar.
Well, to be honest, it's what Laurent Mekies wants to see.
Yeah.
His number 1 driver ahead, his number 2 driver tail
right.
runner.
Yeah, not being beaten by Lindblad, who's a bit worryingly close, actually, if you're Hadjar.
But, you know, he doesn't want somebody like Perez was the last couple of seasons. He wants a tail gunner. He wants a wingman who can, you know, affect strategy and hold people up.
And yeah.
You know, if Perez wasn't even getting into Q3, there's no way he's in a position.
Yeah.
I think Cadillac are making massive strides, aren't they?
It looks like it. I mean, in terms of sprint quali, Perez actually beat Stroll and Gasly on pace.
Yeah.
Which is actually a bit shocking for Gasly, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah, I mean, Gasly's, like, as we said before, normally a Mr. Saturday, so...
I've got to say, though, Colapinto has actually unlocked something, I think, the last couple races, and has suddenly actually become the driver that was kind of promised of him.
Yeah, and I think this is what's so shocking about Antonelli, because Toto Wolff was like, I think in 2024 when he was putting him into FP1 and he went off after about a third of a lap or something.
Yeah.
And Toto was like, he is the next generation.
Yeah.
And then we see people like Piastri who crumbled at the end of last year for whatever reason. Hadjar, Lindblad, Colapinto and Bortoletto, and everybody's like, oh yeah, they're the next young thing. Behrman as well.
Yeah. And
okay, he is in the fastest car, but somehow Antonelli has just stepped it up, hasn't he?
Yeah, I think he got that first race win in China, and there was a bit of a feeling of like, that's a very good achievement, but let's see. And then he's won the next couple races in a row, and everyone's suddenly gone, oh, hang on a second.
And even if your teammate has a fluffed pit stop or a mistimed pit stop...
Yeah. You still have to be there to capitalise on it.
And we said this last week, you still have to punch in the fast laps at the front with all the pressure of thinking, oh my god, I'm going to win 3 debut races. My first 3 debut races in a row.
And that's what he did in Japan, I think, which is where he had the dodgy pit stop. Russell did.
Yeah.
Antonelli actually set at like the fastest lap like 5 times in a row from the lead, even though he didn't need to. He was just like so much faster than everybody else in the last 10 laps, probably just to prove that he actually won on pace.
Yeah.
Or he could have at least challenged on pace.
I don't think it's that. I think that a lot of drivers have said that if they try to go slowly or conserve the tyres, they actually lose their kind of flow. You know, if the tyres are good for it, they like to actually just keep pushing away at it.
Alain Prost was quite good at slowing down, actually. Because he would say, like, the objective is to win as slowly as possible.
Yeah, to preserve the car.
But then he had much better reliability than his rivals.
Yeah.
Which he had figured out even back then that was how you win a championship.
Or 4.
Yeah.
His house got broken into.
What, Prost?
Yeah, he got burgled.
What, when? Just now?
Last couple of weeks, yeah.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, sorry, random Formula 1 news for you there from, like...
Very random.
But yeah, I'm sure he did.
Oh, yeah. That's a shame.
Hope he's okay. Can we talk about the sprint?
Yes, we can.
So we actually got to see what we've been kind of waiting for all season.
Yeah.
Antonelli and Russell going wheel to wheel.
Yes.
At the front.
I'm trying to remember what actually happened in the sprint, because the race itself is sort of asserting itself in my memory.
Sort of carried on, yeah. I think Antonelli tried to go around the outside of turn 1. And turn 1 is a chicane?
Turn 1's kind of a weird... It goes a bit to the right, and then it swoops quite far left into the big round right-handers. It is a weird section of corners, actually.
And I think my personal opinion, and it's a very controversial kind of maneuver. Yeah, here it is. It's it's a hard right and a swooping left. And Antonelli went around the outside of 1, and Russell held his line. Actually, no, yeah. And then he kind of just basically pushed Antonelli out. And I think, you're probably watching it in the background now, but I think Antonelli was far enough ahead that, in theory, he should have had rights to the inside of turn 2.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find the bit. This was not the opening lap, this was later on.
Yeah.
Because Russell, they actually had a good start, the Mercedes. They didn't get swamped.
Yeah.
Hamilton also had a good start. He got past one of the McLarens off the line.
Yeah.
Oh, that's Hulkenberg going off. Okay. It's a bit reminiscent, actually, of sort of 2014. Because I can see Russell and Antonelli fighting. It's lap 5 and Norris is already 3 seconds behind and not even in the same shot.
Yeah.
It's a bit like Hamilton versus Rosberg in Bahrain. But 2014.
On the apex of turn 1, Antonelli is a front
axle. I can see that.
Smidge behind Russell. But then when they get to the apex of turn 2, he's way in front of Russell's mirror.
Russell was lucky. Yeah, Russell was lucky that Antonelli didn't hit him, actually, because he went across the grass into his path. But I think Russell actually saw it coming and backed off and sort of undercut him.
But, yeah, it was proper wheel-to-wheel scary racing.
Yeah. It was kind of awesome, actually.
Oh, it's what we're there for, really, isn't it?
And I am glad that they didn't actually crash.
Yeah.
And I'm sure, Toto Wolff was probably having a bit of a heart attack in the...
And then a few corners later, I think the next one, a few corners later, Kimi just literally outbraked himself.
Well, he probably had a load of crap on his tyres from going across the grass, to be honest.
And then he kind of just went rally driving, basically.
Got more guff on his tyres.
Yeah, he massively straight-lined the chicane. You can actually see the car. It probably did some floor damage looking at that again. Or
was that during the race?
No, I'm watching the sprint. It says F1 sprint. Because then Norris got past him, and Norris got a second, and Antonelli finished.
That must have been later.
Yeah, there's no lap marker, but...
I think it was... Oh, and then, they're on the... They were on the radio saying, "Oh, calm down."
Yeah, Toto was on the radio a lot to Antonelli, and he was saying things like, "This is not something we're going to sort out over the radio."
Yeah, we deal with this internally. Yeah.
Because, I'm kind of on Antonelli's side in this.
Yeah, Russell was driving a bit harshly, a bit sort of mean.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of like when Piastri put a move on Norris a couple of seasons ago through the chicane in Italy.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you did it on another team, you're kind of like, yeah, hold your line, that's brilliant. But on your own teammate is a bit... You've got to have a bit of respect, surely.
Well, because if you hit your own teammate, then you get in big trouble.
Well, yeah, it's not. Nobody wants.
It's just bad for the whole team then.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't crash.
No.
And they sort of got the McLaren buffer between them.
Yeah, and I think it's a kind of headspace thing for Russell as well, because Russell has had a run of bad luck, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And Antonelli's got momentum. So what he really wants is to kind of prove to Antonelli that he's number one in the team.
Yeah.
And, you know, literally get his elbows out and show him who's boss.
Yeah.
The rest of them in the sprint, Norris second, Piastri fourth. Again, the McLarens kind of feel irrelevant at the moment, but they keep picking up points, and they've just had a really bad few races.
The McLarens, it's like everything apart from the actual racing, like the actual pace, is a problem. But there have been 2 races that they've both finished, and they've got like a second place in both of them.
Yeah.
So in terms of pure pace, they're really on it. It's just everything else.
It's just the operational side, which is weird.
It is a bit weird for a championship-winning team, but then last year they did have also quite a lot of weird like strategy calls and fairness issues.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they've got a bit of a...
As far as I remember from the sprint, I think Lewis Hamilton actually clipped the wall at one point. Later on, and got back to 6th.
Yeah, behind Leclerc.
Behind Leclerc. So again, 5th, 6th is about where we used to see the Ferraris.
Yeah.
To be honest, Leclerc was hunting Piastri down quite successfully.
Yeah, if you look at the time, they were only 2/10 apart, actually.
And Hamilton was only 6/10 behind.
Yeah.
So...
And then Verstappen was a bit lonely in 7th.
Yeah, it was one of those weird. And Lindblad was, again, holding his own in 8th, which is that the first points for Lindblad?
I thought he might have scored some points before. Yeah, he came 8th in his first ever race.
Oh, okay.
In Australia.
So again, he might be justifying the hype as well.
I think certainly he's looking like he's going to earn another year at Toro Rosso.
Racing Bulls.
Yeah, whatever, I just call them Toro Rosso.
Ferrari.
Just like how Hulkenberg still drives for Sauber.
Yeah.
Minardi.
Yeah, I'm actually for Racing Bulls to keep picking up points. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Colapinto up to 9th.
Not bad.
I'm going to go on and look at the qualifying now.
Sainz was in 10th, which is pretty good for Williams, even though it's not points in the sprint.
Yeah.
So Alonso retired, I think, from the sprint. Hadjar broke down or crashed?
Yeah, I think so.
I think he had an engine issue, but they actually fixed it quite quickly. And he just went back out again, just to get more laps in.
Yeah, just to get the testing, basically.
He finished 3 laps down, but it's a good experience. You may as well if you've got the fuel. And then the real qualifying.
Yeah, race qualifying. I think did we have... Yeah, we had... Oh, no, it wasn't quite Noah's Ark, was it?
That's a very similar qualifying to the sprint. I think the top 3 might be... The top 3 are identical between the sprint and the regular qualifying.
Yeah.
Was it actually the top 5? Yes. Russell, Antonelli, Norris, Piastri, Hamilton. The top 5 was the same between the sprint quali and the real quali.
Yeah. Leclerc had an awful qualifying session.
Yeah, I don't know what went wrong.
You see, he was down in 8th, but if he'd made up 0.08 of a second, he'd been behind Lewis again.
Yeah. So you think that's just kind of bad luck with the Red Bulls sort of being where they are?
He could have made up 0.07 of a second and leapt up 6 points. Leapt up to 6th place.
So it feels worse than it is, but he's still... And I think maybe for the first time this season, he's been worse than Hamilton.
Yeah, he said it's like one of his worst weekends at Ferrari.
And Hamilton really enjoyed it, which is a bit actually worrying if you're a Ferrari, because what the heck do you do with the car if one of your drivers loves it and the other one hates it?
And one of your drivers who loves it is the kind of halo driver almost. He brings huge prestige and money to the brand. But Leclerc is their project. You know, he's been a Ferrari driver for 7, 8 years?
Pretty much. 8 years. He was in Sauber 8 years ago.
Yeah, and he's developed the car with them and he's grown up with them.
And he is now 28. So he is just entering his absolute prime, pretty much, the next 5 years or so.
Yeah, and he's a really, really good driver.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I'd argue he's probably one of the best on the grid now. Probably top 5.
I mean, remember when we did the points per race, where they equalised it from 1950 onwards?
I think he's the highest on that ranking who's never won a championship, isn't he?
Oh, yeah. There was a big batch of, like, your superstars. Your Verstappens, Hamiltons, Senna, Prost.
Fangio.
Yeah. Schumacher. And then there's a big batch of, I'm not being mean, but you're kind of Hakkinen, Button, Kimi Raikkonen.
Yeah.
You're
1, 2
times.
Yeah.
And actually, Leclerc is towards the top of that second group.
Yeah, he's definitely higher up than some champions, quite a few of them.
Yeah, and to do that without actually... I mean, he's got like 8 or 10 race wins to his name.
He's got 8 wins. The thing is, he's got 27 pole positions. He's actually an amazingly good qualifier. It's just he's been stuck with Ferrari strategy for so long.
And I think we've said pretty much every podcast, this is make or break for him.
Yeah.
I think he's going to look for a championship winning seat if this car isn't good enough.
Yeah.
You know, you only get one life. This is really his shot. It's a whole new reg change he's embedded. To be fair, he's got Lewis Hamilton to learn from.
Yeah, I mean, and he had Sebastian Vettel to learn from as well.
Yeah. And was he there with Alonso? I don't think he was he?
No, it was Sainz.
Yeah.
But yeah, not a good weekend for Leclerc.
None of the qualifying was that surprising. We had... Actually, Ocon out in Q1 is a bit of a shock, but...
And Behrman only 16th.
Yeah, Behrman was right on the bubble. It was very kind of...
There was something I said about the Ferrari engine at Canada and Haas, and I forgot what it was, which way round it was. What was the last race with Miami, which is a power circuit, and they didn't do very well.
Yeah.
So they also didn't do very well here. I think I said because they've got smaller turbos, they do have an overall power deficit.
Yeah, there's a lot of long straights and long swooping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
However, the next race is Monaco.
Oh, vey.
And have just to quickly divert it.
Yeah.
Guess how many straight line zones there are for movable aero at Monaco?
I actually have no idea.
None.
Oh.
No, they will not be allowed to open the wing across the entire race.
Oh.
Which actually makes sense because it means that I think they can regenerate more power that way.
Yeah.
And it'll actually make slipstreaming through the tunnel and everything easier as well.
I wonder if they'll bring, like, Monaco spec front and rear wings.
Well, I think, without the motors in them?
Yeah.
Oh, that is interesting to think about, actually. Because I know they definitely do in terms of the angle.
Yeah.
They've got, like, Monza wings, which are, like, sheets of paper. And then Monaco wings, which are, like, bricks. Just as much downforce as possible. But I hadn't considered they might remove the mechanism to save weight. I don't know if they can.
No, or if they can just make them stiffer by just, not having a bearing in there, but just, like...
locking it.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
And like you said, I don't know if they're allowed to.
Anyway.
Yeah. Russell Antonelli, Norris Piastri, Hamilton, and again, a happier looking Max Verstappen, Hadjar, and then Leclerc, and then because we've got more cars... Oh no, it's still down to 10, isn't it? Yeah. Lindblad and Colapinto being the kind of other two, for want of a better word.
They're getting pretty good for Colapinto, TBH.
Yeah. He's sort of come alive as well.
But again, Ferrari are up there, but then Mercedes and McLaren and Alpine are all running Mercedes power units.
Yeah, and they've had the upgrade.
And seems like they've got total power, as in, like, straight line speed.
Which again won't help them in Monaco.
No, so we'll have to see what happens there. But also, this was a better weekend for Williams compared to the Haas, for example.
Yeah, so you think the upgrade's actually gone through?
Well, or just the geometry of the turbo and stuff.
Yeah.
Since I think the Ferrari engine has a small turbo to get better starts.
But I've also noticed that recently other teams have started optimizing their starts a lot more.
Yeah.
So it's maybe not working as well.
Yeah, it's probably just a mapping thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
They can change in the software to make it fun. I don't know how, because that's complicated stuff.
Yeah.
Also, at the bottom end, Perez actually out-qualifying Stroll on pace.
Which, I mean, it's a bit of a shame because everybody was focused on Stroll because he's the only Canadian driver and it's the only Canadian race.
Yeah. And he's not really done very well.
Actually, Perez
had a great weekend.
But now I'm looking at the times.
He was like 6 tenths ahead of him, actually.
Yeah. 6 or 7 tenths ahead of him. I can't quite do the maths, but it wasn't like, who's going to be in front? It was like...
pretty decisive. There's quite big gaps at the back, actually.
Yeah, I mean, Perez was on a 15.4. Stroll was on I don't like cutting it off, so it's going to be a 16.2, basically.
Yeah.
That's like 8 tenths.
Yeah, pretty much.
And then Bottas was down on a 16.2, which is about where Stroll was.
Yeah.
Actually, Stroll was a whole second, bar 0.001.
A second off his teammate, yeah.
Alonso, which actually is fairly damning, isn't it?
I think there's something... Those cars are not particularly easy to drive down at that far at the back end.
No.
So it is a bit... It's a bit curious as to what exactly the issue is, but Bottas's time was nearly 4 seconds slower than the Russell's pole time. Like 3.7 seconds slower.
That is, I think that's about halfway up to the 107%. Well.
Yeah, but they shouldn't run into that. They should just get closer, hopefully.
Yeah. But
very obviously Cadillac are making big movements forward.
And
at least Perez is.
And Aston Martin aren't.
And they're much more reliable as well, Cadillac.
Yeah. Actually, Lindblad didn't put a second on his teammate.
Not quite, no.
I was looking to see, I don't think anybody actually got a whole second on their teammate.
All the teammates were quite close.
Yeah, I'm having a quick look now.
In this session.
Yeah, apart from
Stroll and Alonso.
And you're right, actually, a 16.2 at the back and a 12.5 at the front is quite a spread, isn't it?
Well, it's the first year of some new regulations. It was always going to be like that.
And new team as well.
It's not like... Was it last year that the entire field could be covered by like a second?
Yeah, I think it was.
And now, a second away from Russell, so I'm so used to Antonelli being in front, would be 10th.
Yeah. 9th even.
If you did a 13.5, you'd be behind Lindblad.
Yeah, it'd be in 10th, yeah.
Ahead of Colapinto.
Yeah. Can we talk about the race now?
Yes, sorry, I'm getting distracted.
No, it was a...
Yes. Quiet race, I think. Not much really happened.
Yeah, a bit of following.
Okay, I'm gonna actually have to watch the highlights on my phone again.
Okay, well I'm gonna say what I remember while you're watching that.
Might be like a half an hour video, because...
It was. I mean,
God,
for the start, Russell and Antonelli carried on where they left off in the sprint, and they were just wheel to wheel.
For a long time.
Yeah. And again, I don't think Russell did anything wrong.
No.
I don't think he was even worthy of being called to the stewards.
It was just, you think he was racing Antonelli harder than he should have done for his teammate.
I think at the time, Toto Wolff said he was about 2 or 3 laps away from telling them to pack it in.
I'm pretty sure they did get on the radio and say, clean up the racing.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. I tell you what we'll talk about while you're watching that.
Yeah.
it had been raining and it was very cold.
Yes.
And bizarrely, we had 3 formation laps.
Yeah, so I'm watching this. The red lights went on, and then they didn't go off.
Yeah.
And then Antonelli and a bunch of other people kind of jumped it. And then they were like, what's going on? That's because Lindblad had stalled.
Yeah.
Or he couldn't get into gear or something like that.
Yeah, he couldn't find first, actually.
So he was waving. Thankfully somebody saw, because that could have been an absolute monster crash.
Yeah.
As we've seen countless times. But he got wheeled into the garage and was out, basically, because...
I think they had to have an extra 2 formation laps to give it enough time to clear.
Yeah.
But, and I mean, there was no penalty for the guys like Antonelli, because I think the thing is, they built the revs up for the turbo lag.
Yeah.
They popped it into gear, they were holding it on the clutch, the red lights were on. And then after 5 or 6 seconds, what do? You're going to nuke your engine.
Yeah.
Or do you pop it into neutral and drop the revs, and then all of a sudden the lights go off and everybody flies past you, and again we have a big crash? Or
well, also, they couldn't have jumped the start because the race didn't start.
Yeah.
So, I think they just said, exceptional circumstances, everybody's fine. Doesn't matter.
For all we know, somebody could have got on the radio and said, Lindblad stalled second formation.
To who? All the drivers?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I think that's what...
wasn't a secret, was it? You could see it happening, so...
I don't know if they would have said that in time while the lights were still on. I think they would have come up on the screen, formation lap, and they would have gone around again.
Yeah.
Anyway, the race began. So,
because of all the weather...
Yes.
The McLarens were the only ones in the top 10 who went out on inters.
Yeah.
And there was rain predicted, and I'm looking for the list.
Yes.
But quite a lot of them...
Are you looking for who was on intermediates?
At the start. I've got a feeling Hulkenberg.
Start is tricky, because on the grid, there were quite a few drivers, but I think some of them changed either on the formation lap or... Hulkenberg, Bortoletto, Perez and Bottas.
Yeah, and the 2 McLarens.
At Sainz.
And unfortunately for them, the rain never came.
Yeah.
And pretty much after the first lap, I think Norris came in lap 1 and Piastri lap 2, and that was their race basically cooked.
Well, Norris actually took the lead because his tyres were hotter than the others.
Yeah.
And, he had a good start. Piastri got overtaken by Hamilton, I think. I'm just watching it now.
Yeah.
And lap 1, there goes Norris straight into the pits.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's actually Piastri comes in first, which is unusual because... Well, Piastri was on the radio during all of the formation laps, basically saying, what the hell are we doing? Why are we on the inters? It's so obviously a dry track.
You almost feel like he would have been better off just coming in after one of the formation laps and sitting in his pit box and saying, put some good tyres on this, please. And then doing a hard tyre pit lane start.
Yeah, going as long as possible. Softs to the end, probably.
Well, I'll tell you what, while we're talking about it...
Yeah.
Let's just say what happened to the McLarens.
Yeah, let's go team by team almost.
I think Norris actually retired with a mechanical, didn't he?
Yes, I'm just trying to think, because one of them crashed into a Williams, but...
Piastri sent it up the inside, completely blindsided... Albon, and just punted it into his side pod, knackered his front wing, and picked up a 10-second penalty. So he not only had to do a pit stop to change his front wing, he had to do a second pit stop, which was an extra probably 12-13 seconds longer.
Yeah, but I think Norris, to his credit, he just broke down, and then he pulled basically behind one of the orange barriers, and there wasn't so much as a yellow flag, I don't think.
No.
He basically just took himself straight off the track very cleanly. Got lots of Antonelli versus Russell. But I think that happened to Piastri because he must have been frustrated. And he was like, I've just got to get past here, I've just got to keep braking later and later.
I didn't hear that it was. Where he did it, there was a lot of crosswind. The track was still cold. The tyres were unpredictable. I've got a feeling you might even have mentioned something was weird about the car, like locking or weird downshifts or something.
Yeah.
But I don't think it was hot-headed Piastri going, oh, sod it, I'll just send it up the inside. I think there was a lot more going on. I think there was possibly a tailwind, so it was unloading the rear wing.
Yeah, there was, I think.
And a cold, dirty track and a street track, and I think he just...
Yeah, miscalculated.
If you actually look at it, he was trying to overtake whoever was around Albon at the time.
Yeah.
Albon was overtaking somebody, and he was behind that, and he just actually tried to stop going into the corner, and only stopped by bouncing off Albon and punting him out.
Probably would have been Behrman looking at this.
Yeah, I think so.
But
and that was lap 11. Oh my, that's terrible.
Yeah, there's Behrman, and then just huge amounts of smoke, and just sucks for Albon, because that's just instantly not your fault at all. That's it.
He actually, if you listen to Albon's radio, he never even actually knew who hit him.
It just was, he overtook Behrman, braked for the hairpin, and then his car just got T-boned.
Yeah.
Didn't even see, it was just like, oh, well, okay then.
Okay, my side pod's gone, I'm in the gravel. Okay, then that's not a race anymore.
Looking at the impact, because the TV direction was a bit shonky.
Yeah.
Actually, it was so bad, I got kind of worried that something really bad had happened to Albon. Because whenever there's a crash and someone DNFs and they don't show you for like 10 minutes, it's usually because they're worried that they've like injured themselves really badly.
Oh, like Grosjean, when we just had like 10 minutes of like the safety car. And
all the drivers looking worried in the garage. And then we finally saw him alive in the back of the medical car, and it's like, thank God for that.
Yeah. Yeah, and all the drivers were on the radio going, I've seen the fireball, what's happened? And you're like, this is not going to be a happy story.
Yeah. Because normally the engineers would say, yeah, he's fine. But this time they were all like, we'll get back to you on that one.
Yeah, we're checking.
But I'm amazed that Piastri didn't have suspension damage, because he properly thumped into the side of Albon's car.
I think he took it all on the front wing.
No, I'm seeing his wheel went through his side pod.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, his wheel basically carved a big hole into Albon's side pod. I'm amazed he didn't have a puncture too, to be honest.
Yeah. Well, he went in. I think they probably did everything.
Oh, yeah.
He finished 2 laps down.
Yeah, Piastri finished... I think he actually was 11th, which is honestly commendable, considering where he was.
It's 11th out of 16 finishers.
Yeah, so he's ahead of... I was going to say the 2 Astons and 2... what are they called? Cadillacs. But no, because one of each of those retired as well.
Yeah.
I think that's just mechanical.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Antonelli and Russell, the 2 Mercedes, went wheel to wheel. And like I say, I thought Russell was properly on the edge. And like you say, Toto was on the radio a lot.
Yeah.
Saying, keep it clean and we need both cars to finish.
Yeah. I think Antonelli was getting annoyed as well, because he's like, why is he racing me so hard?
You say Antonelli was getting annoyed, but when I was watching it, I was actually seeing Antonelli got ahead of Russell.
Yeah.
And it was fairly clear that Antonelli had more race pace than Russell.
Yes.
And I think Russell was actually making some fairly emotional moves and like diving in too deep and locking up. And
yeah. So
I think... in terms of head games, I think it was fairly much an even split.
Yeah. Well, clearly, Russell's got some feelings about Antonelli in general and the situation that he kind of finds himself in.
Yeah.
So he's thinking to himself, this is a sort of must-win race.
Yeah.
Because he just has to prove to himself and to the team that he's still the number 1.
But then he had a battery pack failure, wasn't it?
Not sure. Let me
They have been very coy about it. I think it was the battery. And I think absolutely no power on lap 29.
Yeah, it's just a mechanical, which I thought he'd crashed. I thought they'd hit and he'd broken suspension or something at first.
Yep.
But then Wikipedia says gearbox failure.
Oh, okay. I thought it was absolutely zero power, but yeah, he dropped out in lap 29.
Which was kind of a... Okay, so Wikipedia also says battery issue, although there's no citations on either of those.
Yeah, you see, I don't think they've actually, given any information out.
Let me dig a bit further for a second. Mercedes reveal exact cause of Russell's costly Canadian GP retirement.
Yeah.
A lot of waffle.
Yep.
It was an engine kill that was caused by a failure in the battery, which suffered a catastrophic failure a third of the way through the race.
Yep.
So basically the battery gave up and the engine just switched itself off, I think, to stop it from, detonating.
You know what that was, don't you?
What?
Loose alternator belt. Yeah, no.
Probably not on a Formula 1 car, to be perfectly honest.
A bit more complicated. Oh, yeah, lap 22. Basically, Russell pushed Antonelli off, and he got in the lead by going off track, and then was told to give it back, and he was like, well, why?
Yeah, and that's when he started getting properly annoyed on the radio, and they told him to shut it, basically.
Again.
Yeah, for the time being.
But also, as they said on the commentary, who would report an inter-team battle to the stewards?
Well, I assume the stewards would note it. Clearly the stewards are going to be watching.
But, when they get called in after the race, would Antonelli actually sit there and drop his own teammate and his own team in the trouble?
Well, it's not really the team's fault, is it? If it was just Antonelli, then yes, he would, because he'd want to get the position, even if it is Russell.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know what the team's perspective on it would be, unless they just send both of them to the stewards alone and say, sort it out yourselves.
Yeah.
But I guess that their policy was just, let's just swap and avoid the whole thing altogether.
And also, of everybody on the grid, how much do you trust Russell?
Well, I feel like you could trust him to just be, have his kind of perspective, which is that he went off track and I should have the position.
Yeah.
I think it's, that's what you would expect from Russell.
Yeah, and then when he actually stopped, now I saw this and Ellie saw it on the thing, he threw his headrest out of the car, properly threw it beyond the front wing. But nobody reported this. I couldn't see if it's on the video. Something else was also thrown out when he, just at the very second he stopped. He threw something out to the left of the car, whether it was his microphone or water or...
let me see. Lap 29.
But he did get a €5,000 suspended fine.
Yeah.
And he actually made a full and public apology and said, I'm really sorry for making the steward's life more difficult. Not
the marshals.
The marshals.
They all know that they can't race without the marshals.
Yeah.
But yeah, also fair enough to him for saying, I was obviously in a really bad mood.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just goes across the grass, no power. I'm looking.
I found a 29-second video of just him.
Oh, they cut away. What?
If you look on the report on the Formula 1 website, the second video down.
Let's have a look.
At 7 seconds, you can see it even before he takes the steering wheel off. Something's just thrown.
Yeah. Sorry, I've got to try and navigate this slightly annoying website.
Okay, I will also then say the official Red Bull account showed a fan video of the... No, a fan still, I think it was, of the headrest being thrown. And had the epic 3-word tweet, something violence.
I thought it was borderline something.
Oh, something borderline. No, I think you're right.
Because that's what Russell said, that Max was borderline violent or something.
He said it was something aggressive and borderline violent when they were having that row a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
About their behaviour in the stewards' room.
Russell, yeah, something does.
You can see his white fist just kind of flick.
I don't know what that would have been, but that was onto the grass.
Yeah.
I don't know if that could have been a tear-off strip or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, he properly throws the headrest.
Oh, and he punches the car as well.
Doesn't throw the steering wheel, which is something that has been done, and they get properly in trouble for that because the marshals have to steer the car back onto off the track.
You are meant to reattach it, actually, aren't you?
And he does reattach it, but he's properly hacked off, and then he goes and stands behind the cage and kind of just stares for a while.
Yeah, I think Brundle said that he lost a wheel once in a Grand Prix.
Yeah.
And he got out of the car and then just threw the steering wheel away and said, there's another wheel for you to find.
Yeah. Which to be fair, if it's missing a wheel, steering it's probably not going to be very easy anyway, so yeah, it's like a low loader situation.
Yeah. Also, that's quite a kind of epic.
That's quite funny, yeah.
How far have we got? Oh, let's do Ferrari now, shall we?
Yeah.
But Antonelli went on to win the race after that.
Somewhat unsurprisingly.
Well, yeah.
So Ferrari, the whole race for them. Hamilton was quite competitive for the whole thing, pretty much, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He was certainly mixing it with the McLarens and the Red Bulls. Well, what McLarens were there.
Yeah, and he hunted down, I mean, this was vintage. He hunted down Max Verstappen.
Yeah. Hamilton versus Verstappen in that. Even in the opening stint, he was chasing him down.
But after the last round of pit stops, he came out like 10 seconds behind him? 9-10 seconds?
Yeah. I'm just going ahead.
And he just hunted him down.
6.9 seconds with 35 laps in. He's actually, 11 seconds. So this is I think, a virtual safety car for Russell's car. He actually comes out... Oh, stop skipping. He comes out 12 seconds behind.
Yeah.
Leclerc actually double stacks, but I think he gets quite badly held up in the pit stop.
Yeah.
So Leclerc ends up having to chase down Hadjar by comparison.
Yeah.
Which he does. He gets quite close to him. But then, because there's only the top 5 then, because it's just the 2 Red Bulls, the 2 Mercedes, and Antonelli.
Yep.
2 Ferraris, 2 Red Bulls, and Antonelli. But yeah, Hamilton just reels him in.
But then you see, what's really interesting is because they know each other so well, and I think they have got respect now.
Yeah, definitely.
But you saw there were like 2 or 3 laps where Verstappen knew the obvious places to overtake, and he knew the obvious ways that Hamilton does overtake. So he was like saving a little bit of battery and carrying a little bit more speed, and every time he tried to do it, he basically got outdriven by Verstappen. And then I can't remember where the overtake actually happened. I think it was round the outside in turn 1 or something.
It was, I think, yeah, he just had a bit more battery.
But it was somewhere, and you could obviously see after 3 or 4 laps, Lewis was thinking, he knows all my tricks. He knows what I would do, and he knows what he would do. So he thought, like, what's really unusual? And he saved extra battery and extra speed, and carried more speed on the start-finish, and actually went completely around the outside and had it stuck before he got into turn 2.
Yeah. And to be fair, Verstappen didn't get freaked out and go, what the hell's he done? He just went, oh yeah, that's Hamilton.
Yeah.
Understood.
Which is a bit weird, because what Russell said about the sprint is, and then nearly coming together, is like, well, you don't try and overtake round the outside of turn 1.
Yes, but Hamilton obviously does, doesn't he?
Well, also, you can't say that about any circuit. If you've got the speed and you've got the gap, you try and overtake.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like a standard part of a racing driver's armoury. It's like, well, if your opponent, especially if they're in the same car, knows all your tricks, find something new, do something surprising.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's kind of weird because a lot of the clickbait has been like, oh my god, are Ferrari back? Will this be the year Hamilton wins number 8? But to be realistic, there were, well, a McLaren and a Mercedes were out.
Yeah.
And Piastri was just nowhere.
So,
again,
yeah, 3 cars were sort of gone.
Not because the pace wasn't in the car, but for various reasons.
Like external reasons.
Yeah. So therefore, that could easily have been fighting for 5th with Max Verstappen.
It probably should have been, to be completely honest.
I'm not sure, because even given all of that drama, he finished 10 seconds behind Antonelli.
You're saying that's not a lot?
No.
To be fair, there was a virtual safety car.
But that would have affected everybody. I mean, I think the Ferrari and the Red Bull 10 and 11 seconds behind the Mercedes.
Yeah.
And we've seen them. I mean, you look, actually, Leclerc was 44 seconds back in a very lonely place, but that's kind of where you'd expect Hamilton and Verstappen this season. So maybe they have made a step up.
Maybe Hamilton's made a step up without the simulator.
Hamilton has 100% made a step up because, it's the happiest we've seen him. I was actually thinking, obviously, when Schumacher won 5 in a row with Ferrari.
Yup.
What he did was he rebuilt Ferrari.
Yes.
He got Rory Byrne to design the car.
Yeah.
Got Ross Brawn and Jean Todt to run the team.
Which is kind of insane in retrospect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, it's that he couldn't. I don't think Ferrari have got a structure to win champions.
Well, no, because they've sort of been floating around the top for the last 15 years at least.
Yeah.
Coming up on 20 years, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
They've sort of just been there or thereabouts, and they kind of have bad years like 2014 or 2020, and then good years where they're sort of like 2018 when they come second. They make a bit of a challenge, but they've never actually had.
And there were some Alonso years where he was literally less than 10 points off Vettel.
Yeah.
I think there were 2 of them, weren't there?
Yeah, I think so. I guess it was 10 and 12.
I was going to say 11 and 13, but yeah, 10 and 12.
No, 11 and 13 were the ones where Vettel was hilariously dominant over everyone. It was really boring. And
I'm wondering, Hamilton's got rid of his race engineer and got somebody he appears happy with.
Yes.
He's not stopped using the simulator. He might be strong enough to do a Schumacher. And actually, maybe not get rid of Vasseur because he likes Fred Vasseur.
Well, I think Vasseur is one of the reasons he joined.
Yeah.
Because he I think he won F2 being managed by Vasseur. Vasseur was the team principal.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And obviously Vasseur scouted Leclerc as well.
So, with 2 drivers and the team principal on board, they might actually overcome that kind of Ferrari inertia. The sort of monolithic, very stubborn, bloody-minded Ferrari. Well, it's not only that. I think they're also a bit in thrall to the Italian press.
Yeah.
Because what we don't realise is in Italy and France, they've got a kind of sports press.
Yeah.
And newspapers and magazines that report on sports, and sports we don't really hear of here, like Formula 1 and cycling.
Yeah.
And it's very hard for a team boss like Vasseur to actually hang on and not win.
Yeah, because, in 2010, Toto Wolff became the team principal of Mercedes.
Yeah.
And since then, I don't even remember who the team principal was in 2010 of Ferrari.
Oh no, Arriva Bene?
I think he was afterwards, and then it was what's his face? Binotto. And then it was Vasseur after that. So I think it's 4 different team principals. Scuderia Ferrari, I'm just having
And you look at that, and the same period Red Bull Racing had Christian Horner.
So Jean Todt quit in 2007. Then it was Domenicali, who's now in charge of all of F1. Then it was Mattiacci for a year. Then it was Arriva Bene, then Binotto, and now it's Vasseur.
And yet the 2 big powers have pretty much been Mercedes or Red Bull for, probably 20 years.
Well, since up until last year, they were the only 2 teams to win a championship since 2010.
Yeah. And they both had the same team principal for that whole time.
Yeah, exactly. Also, Vasseur is the first French Ferrari TP since Jean Todt, who was there from 93 to 2007.
Again, it's the same build the team. I don't know if Hamilton is young enough to do it, but
Maybe.
I
Or
have
maybe
a
he
feeling
could kind
they've
of...
had very similar conversations about, Vettel and Alonso, because they're also superstars in their own right.
But I think they didn't necessarily have the mindset to steer Ferrari in that right direction.
Certainly Alonso didn't have the diplomatic chops to,
No.
take the team with him, as it were.
No.
It was a very busy race.
Yeah.
Red Bull Racing.
Yeah, good for them, probably.
Actually, 3rd and 5th for them is probably their best result this year.
I think Hadjar got into some problems. I'm not entirely sure. He got penalties for something. I think he drove someone off the track.
Yeah, that does ring a bell.
I don't entirely remember, to be honest.
But, 3rd and 5th, again, with people dropping out, but even so.
Well, again, for Hadjar to be up in 5th and not messing around in the midfield, to be honest.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he moved.
Everybody apart from the first 4 got lapped, but,
Hadjar moved twice, defending from Leclerc, who's weaving a bit, so he got a 10-second penalty.
Yeah.
Oh, there goes Norris. Perez. Oh, yeah, Perez's wheel fell off going into the pit lane.
Yeah, that was terrifying.
It's a good thing he was going into the pit lane. He almost certainly felt something wrong.
It was a weakness in the carbon fibre. He probably felt it starting to move underneath him.
Yeah, but anyway, getting sidetracked. Very good race, despite a slightly bad qualifying for Alpine, actually.
Yeah, I was looking at that. Gasly 8th and Colapinto in 6th. Again, starting to light it up a bit.
But where did Gasly qualify? 14th.
Yeah, he was out in Q1, wasn't he? We said
that was sprint. Q2, he was 14th, but finished 8th.
Up. Yeah.
He must have got past some people, because it wasn't 6 cars ahead of him that retired. It should have only been 2.
Yeah.
Well, Piastri also got screwed over a bit.
Well, no, he just had a really bad race for various reasons.
Yeah. But double points finish for actually only 3 teams. And it was Alpine, Red Bull and Ferrari.
Yeah, Lawson was between them as well, which must be quite gutting for Lindblad, because it showed what the car was capable of.
Yeah, but also a swing back towards Lawson, because he's supposed to be kind of the more experienced one.
Yeah, but they're both really young.
Oh yeah, they're both... I don't think they're both younger than me, but Lindblad definitely is.
Yeah. Sainz got a Williams into the points, which they'll be happy about.
Yeah. Again, making improvements because their car was horrendously overweight, I think.
Yeah.
And Behrman scored a point too.
Yeah.
Because he didn't qualify very well either. 16th up to 10th. That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, Behrman has flashes of being worth the money, basically.
I do think he needs at least another year in a Haas, probably.
Yeah.
Before he goes up to the Ferrari, but they can coach him into being a top tier driver, I think.
This is what makes Antonelli exciting.
Yeah, he's had 1 year.
He's had 1 year and a year in a top flight team.
And he's already there.
Yeah. And only 10 seconds ahead of Hamilton. Over a 68 lap race, you can't really take your foot off the pedal at that.
No.
That's wide at one corner or a bad pit stop and you're in
trouble. Or a spin, yeah. Also, he was racing Russell the whole time.
Yeah.
And he didn't actually hit Russell or crash into him or do anything really stupid.
I think he flat spotted his tyres and then just carried on driving and
still won.
Yeah.
And he moaned on the radio a lot, but that just means he's a Formula 1 driver.
Yeah.
Because that's what they do.
And I think, and you're much better on the stats, I think he's the only Formula 1 driver to have won his first 4 races consecutively.
Yeah. They keep updating all the records that he keeps breaking. First driver to win his first 4 races consecutively, and to convert his first 3 pole positions into his first 3 wins.
And it felt like a fluke at first, but I think we can safely say the only teenager to ever lead the World Championship.
Yeah. I mean, he was, but he's pretty comfortably leading it for a while now.
Yeah,
actually.
and I think it's starting to sound less and less like, well, he got lucky too. Okay then.
Yes. And he's now, with that DNF, 43 points ahead of Russell.
Yeah.
Which is still not insurmountable.
No, God, no. I mean, like we said, there's a lot of points out there.
And Antonelli, historically, has not been very good in Europe for whatever reason.
Yeah.
So it's still everything to play for, as it were.
Is it all we were saying? Ferrari are comfortably ahead of McLaren.
Yeah.
In the constructors, Mercedes on 219, Ferrari on 147, and McLaren on 106.
Yeah.
And Red Bull down on 57, so it's starting to spread out, but...
I still think it'll come down to Ferrari versus McLaren. You know, like it's the 1980s or something.
At the end?
Yeah.
You think they'll catch Mercedes?
I think McLaren will catch Ferrari. Not for the win, for P2 probably.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and I mean,
because if the thing about McLaren is, as we've already said, the pace is very much there. It's just they need to stop making silly mistakes.
Yeah.
Like choosing intermediates, or just having their cars break down before they can actually get off the line.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah, there's so many points out there. You know, technically we could see like Alonso, Stroll, Perez or Bottas winning.
Yeah, nobody's actually mathematically excluded yet by a long way.
By a huge...
Yeah.
I think that was all the drama.
Pretty much.
Perez's wheel fell off.
Yes.
Norris...
Just broke down.
Russell just broke down.
Alonso, I think he said that he had pain from his seat, so he had to stop.
Yeah.
Which is yet another issue with that cursed Aston Martin.
Albon had too much McLaren in his side pod.
Yes. Which is any McLaren in his side pod.
Yes.
And Lindblad, gearbox failed on the start.
DNS.
Yes. Bottas and Stroll were 4 laps down. It's quite a short track, to be fair.
That's still quite bad.
Yeah. And
I mean,
Piastri...
I think they were getting lapped in like the teens of laps.
I think, everybody up to Hadjar got lapped.
Yeah.
Which is pretty ridiculous considering that his teammate was only 11 seconds off the lead.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that was a fun race.
Right, actually, 68 laps. A quarter of that would be 17 laps. I think they were starting to lap them around 18, 19.
Well, that's also what happens when you sort of race your teammate. They were pushing hard to get ahead of each other, right?
Yeah.
Pushing each other quite hard. Even if they lose a bit of time with the wheel-to-wheel stuff, the speed would have been very high. They both would have been driving to their maximum.
Yeah.
For like the whole thing.
They wouldn't have been doing tyre management or anything.
No.
And actually, if we said they were like 4 or 5 seconds off the pace, or 3, even 4 seconds, let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only like a 75 second lap. Yeah, it's not surprising really, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is the Canadian Grand Prix.
Yeah.
As I said at the top of the show, you know, you watch a lot of kind of processional races and a bit where it's like the expected people win and stuff like that, and then you get something like this where you're like, what just happened?
Yeah. It was just constant action and carnage, but also just some awesomely good racing as well, not just like crashes for the sake of it.
No. And
like
I think
that,
now
even Hamilton versus Verstappen was pretty epic.
Yeah. I mean, we got the old Hamilton versus Verstappen that's been going on really for probably
6 years now.
And we also got a brand new Antonelli Russell.
Which is actually, Toto must be flashing back a bit to 2016 again, because...
Well, we said this before. This is Toto's problem. He likes... He's like ADHD. It's like, oh, shiny new driver, give me the dopamine. Like,
what he wants... He almost thinks of it as like a maximising thing, where you say, I want both of my drivers to be the best drivers in the world.
Yeah.
Although, to be fair, Ferrari have the same thing too. And they've not actually been quite as aggressive with each other.
No.
They have had very, very close racing.
But then you look at how much Lewis won with Bottas, Max won with Perez, and you kind of think,
why would you not get a number 2?
I mean, they're hard to find. Somebody like a Sainz.
I think Sainz is slightly too good to be a proper number 2 driver, and I think he thinks too highly of himself, which is fair.
Oh yeah.
Honestly,
I think the rest of the season is going to be fascinating because it's going to be. Is Antonelli going to be like Piastri? Is he going to like flash, start off really, really strong, and then all of a sudden just tank?
Yeah. And can Russell sustain a championship run throughout a whole season? Because he's never done that before.
I don't have any doubts about Russell.
No.
I mean, if I'm being really, really hard, I think possibly Russell might be like we said, I think I would put him in a Button, Hakkinen, Raikkonen type of a camp at the moment.
Yeah.
I think if all the stars align and everything looks good, I can see him. I can see him getting 1 or 2 world titles. I don't quite see him as like a kind of multi-title Schumacher, Senna, Prost, Hamilton, Verstappen, Vettel kind of a.
No. Kind of a bit like Norris was.
Yeah.
Like, I think I said that. It's like, I think Norris definitely could be a world champion, and I was right, because he is. But it has to be quite a kind of particular setup.
And I mean, maybe, we're just 2 guys sat here who watch it on our sofas.
Yeah.
Maybe we're wrong. Maybe Norris will unlock something and go on and, win 4 or 5. He's very young. He could do it.
Yeah.
I don't like putting people down. It's just like roughly
to be putting people down to even be a Formula 1 driver.
Yeah,
you have to be like top 1% of the entire population of the world out driving a car.
But no, way more than that. I mean, even if you count the sim drivers and the tests and the reserves,
to be honest,
there's probably 40 people, maybe 50, who can actually worth thinking about.
I'd say you could maybe there's probably 100 people in the world who you could put in an F1 car for an FP1 and they wouldn't embarrass themselves.
Yeah.
Because you've got quite a lot of F2 drivers and IndyCar a lot as well. But then to be even a single champion out of all of those. I mean, how many drivers have actually won a world championship?
Oh, Norris was like the 30th or something?
35th. Which is actually such a tiny sliver of even all the drivers who've competed. It's something like 800.
Yeah.
So it's to say, he'll only win 1 championship.
Yes, you're right. It's not putting anybody down. But yeah, I get the feeling. I don't have any doubts that Russell could. I don't think if it comes down to the sharp end and he's like either 10, 20 points ahead or 10, 20 points behind. I don't think Russell's got the kind of mindset where he would like crumble and start making mistakes. I think he spent enough time around Hamilton, to be blunt, that he would just be, we're doing this.
Yeah, we can do it.
Let's go super focus. Let's hit the gym. Let's study the tech. This is my shot, basically.
Yeah.
Because again, in Formula 1, you don't know what's going to happen next year. You don't know what the car's going to be like. You might have an accident. Anything could.
Anything could happen.
Yeah.
It probably will.
I think we're about done, aren't we?
Yeah. Don't think there's anything more to talk about Canada.
No.
Speaking of processional races,
we got Monaco.
I am actually quite interested to see how these cars interact with Monaco. Because I think it could be really rubbish. Or they might actually work quite well.
Well, they've got good acceleration and they're smaller, so
they can follow more closely.
Yeah.
As I was saying, there's no straight line mode, which is the movable aero sections.
Yeah.
So they're going to be in full downforce mode the whole time.
Yeah. Oh, there was one thing. Well, there's a couple of things actually about the title fight. One is they interviewed Russell afterwards, and he had a really interesting point of view.
Yeah.
I said, how do you feel? You must be gutted you're 43 points behind. And he said, well, I did everything I wanted to do.
Yeah.
You know, my personal performance here was the best I could do. I was fighting at the front. I got pole position. I won the sprint.
Yeah.
So, even though he didn't get 25 points or 18 points in the bag, when he calms down and stops hitting the car, there's nothing to change.
No?
He doesn't think, well, if I'd only just, or, I need to do this, or I'll look at my approach to that.
Yeah.
He's like... And actually, if you look at it like that, that is quite kind of...
It's mature.
It's mature, but also he's actually there.
Yeah, he's got the same pace at least as Antonelli.
Yeah.
So
And, he's got his head straight.
Yeah, he's not, like, spiralling because he retired from one race.
Yeah.
Because, that might happen to Antonelli next time and Russell will win.
Yeah.
And then suddenly the swing is gone and it's back to where we were.
To be honest, I am expecting Antonelli to not finish a race. Maybe a couple of races.
Yeah.
Or to have a pit stop where they drop the wheel, or...
Some bad luck has to come his way at some point.
Yeah, or, like happened to Russell, he'll do a pit stop, come out on fresh tyres, and then the person in front of him will crash, and Russell will pop in for a freebie. And...
Yeah.
It's nice to see Hamilton and Antonelli. Hamilton is just so supportive. He's not like, oh my god, if I was in that car.
Yeah, he's just like happy that Mercedes and Antonelli are doing well.
And I think you're right. I think it comes down to losing Bottas. I think Mercedes didn't go into bat after Abu Dhabi 2021.
And they didn't support his choice of second driver. He was probably... I wonder if that's when he first started thinking, maybe I shouldn't stay with Mercedes.
Yeah, you know what? And I've said it before, and it sounds trivial. That's when he started putting a yellow flash on his car.
The yellow, T-bar.
T-bar, which is traditionally second driver.
Do you think he was almost making a point to Mercedes? Like, well,
yeah,
clearly you treat me like this, so...
Yeah. And, Mercedes very early on said, at the end of 2021, we don't want this to be decided in a court.
If I was Hamilton, I'd say, I do.
Yeah, I mean...
Because they'd decide that it was my title.
Yeah, because it was... So, yeah.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I watched the podium, and... Yeah, it's a weird bit. It's really sweet, where, like, Hamilton's talking to the Mercedes engineer, and they both look round at Antonelli, and they basically take the trophy out of his hands, and he puts it down, and then they hold him up on their shoulders.
Yeah. Well, because Hamilton knows all the Mercedes staff anyway. He's He's still actually kind of hanging out with the... He heads over to the Mercedes garage quite often, just to, like, chat to them.
So, yeah. I've just seen a headline on the BBC News really quickly. Ben Sulayem wants to scrap FIA presidency limits.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's a little bit ominous, really, isn't it?
Well, he's already, like, basically not stolen, but he's used a loophole to make sure nobody can oppose him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a 12-year limit on FIA president. That's ages.
Oh, yeah, it's 3 4-year terms.
But the thing is, so he must be in his current second term.
Yeah.
Because he's been there since 2021. That'll end in 2029. And then he can go until 2033.
And then he wants to carry on after that.
But he's 64 now. In 2033, he'll be like over 70.
Yeah, he's looking at Bernie Ecclestone, isn't he?
Who's about 119.
And Max Mosley, I think, is his Mikey.
Yeah, but hopefully that doesn't happen.
So yeah, Monaco, like you say, it'd be very interesting to see what these drivers and these cars make of Monaco.
Yes.
I think, yeah.
Could be good for Ferrari if they were lacking straight line speed in this Canada Grand Prix.
Yeah, they've been quite innovative with their aero and stuff.
If they've got, again, small turbo, spins up more quickly, they can get that power down more quickly, but they don't need the top speed of it.
No, see how McLaren do as well.
If they can, start.
They can get it together.
Yeah.
Who's Priestley?
Priestley.
Is he one of the McLaren?
Oh, rings a very vague bell.
So I've just seen a headline: complete disaster.
Well, yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know who that is specifically.
Anyway, I'm Graham Miller. I write thriller books as Graham H. Miller.
Yep.
Toby is at Official Tibby and he does YouTube videos.
Yep.
And this has been the podcast.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
We'll
and
be back
talk to you after Monaco. We've got a lot of races coming up, haven't we?
Yeah, I think it starts to get busy again.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about Australia and it was like, that feels like it was so long ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, it gets a bit busy for summer, which is nice.
Okay, so thank you for listening and goodbye.
Yeah, bye.